Hello and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin and Cardano. Bitcoin currently back above, slightly above 38k, and Cardano just above 91 cents again. So we can see a little bit of an upside here. We talked about in the last video. Personally, I do expect a little bit more upside before we then dump down, and I'm going to talk about that in this video. We see currently a lot of cryptos recovering again. Yeah, that was expected. I talked about in a Bitcoin video yesterday that a lot of the cryptos are now just oversold, and we can expect here a little bit of an upside, but then this does not end the downtrend at all. This is just a little bit of a counter reaction, I think, but I will cover that in the individual altcoin videos as well. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin here still in this broadening descending wedge, right, that we talked about in the last few videos actually. I just want to emphasize that this scenario, we talked about two scenarios, two key scenarios that I'm looking at here for Bitcoin, with my primary expectation that we're going to go down into the yellow target area, and that we could have started here already that wave 5 here, yeah, which would complete the downtrend. For that, you can see here on the chart this 1, 2, 3, and potential 4 still coming. Maybe it was already there, but to be honest, if you look at the chart and how this 1, 2 is looking like, you don't actually see just sort of in the same. You don't really see a wave 4 reaction. Nothing that would constitute really a wave 4, because you want for the wave 4 actually a 3-wave structure. Yeah, you need that. There was a counter reaction for a wave 4 down here that did hit the fib levels that were needed, but it is not really a 3-wave structure. So I'm not convinced that this was already the wave 4. So therefore, what I would expect is here a little bit of an upside we talked about in the last couple of videos, because also the indicators would suggest that. So if we have for example, on the daily, if I just go to the daily chart, that Bitcoin is just the indicator, it's just the RSI is just at 40 at the moment. That just indicates that there needs to be a little bit of a reaction to the upside. I mean, otherwise, with an RSI of 40, I don't think you're necessarily going to get all the way into this target area between 20 and 29k. And I think we're going to get there based on the pattern that we're currently making, this AVC correction, the larger one. And also here, we are obviously, so this is still my primary scenario, right? That we're going to go down here. But the alternative is that Bitcoin would break out of this pattern. This is a bullish pattern, the descending broadening wedge. And that because of the indicators, because they are so low, that we're going to see a little bit of a reaction to the upside. Now, my first target for that would be here, the 41k. That would be the top of the wedge. That is typically the target area when a wedge is broken, the beginning, yeah. And this is where we could be getting to. And then if we go above 41.6, then I think we're going to go higher, because 41.6 would invalidate this pattern here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the downside. That would break that wave 1, and then it would invalidate that immediate downtrend, and we can expect a little bit more upside. That could then go all the way up to the previous high, 45.5. And if we break 46.5, this is now where this neckline, as you can see here in white, this ascending trend line. If I zoom out, you can see this is actually the neckline of this head and shoulders pattern, yeah. If we break that, then we can go higher pretty much all the way up to 65k before we go down then, because all of this here, what we see in my view still is not impulsive. Yeah, it's not an impulsive move to the upside, therefore it's still all corrective, and the higher time frame indicators would also, in my view, not support new all-time highs yet. Therefore, all of that would just be corrective. Yeah, and at the moment, I think Bitcoin is still moving slowly sideways, and I think the reason for that is because it is waiting to break out here. If I zoom in, you can see it actually. Maybe I need to go to the 30-minute chart. There you go. You can actually see how Bitcoin is moving in this broadening descending wedge. It's moving slightly up. It is making higher highs. It is making higher lows. So here we've got a high. Here we've got a slightly higher high. At the moment we've got here a higher low, another higher low, and now I think it could be preparing for that breakout because it's just getting closer to that resistance level, yeah, which doesn't mean we couldn't even come down once more and then go up, but at the moment it's looking like it would be breaking out, or it will be preparing for that breakout. So be ready for that potential. But if it does not, and if it gets rejected here, the next support, and if I extend this trend line, the next support would push us down to 35.5. Okay, so that would be here the top or the support level of that wedge. So expect some volatility, because even if we break out here, there will be volatility. It will go up from here, and if we go or get rejected here, I think we're gonna see a steep move down. Okay, looking at the shorter time frame indicators, for example, the 4-hour chart here, we can see that the RSI is coming out of the oversold range, is moving higher, so that could support potentially here a move to the upside. Also the MACD crossed bullish, so also this is adding some buying momentum, right? So you can expect here potentially a little bit of a move up, as I already said in the last video, before we then complete that correction. The MACD as well starting to reduce selling momentum. Okay, so also here, if this continues, this would also suggest that we see a little bit more upside. Just on the 8-hour chart as well, it looks like we're going to see here bullish crossover. So yeah, this is what I'm looking at here. Currently decision point, yeah, just a decision point. So at the moment I wouldn't do anything and just wait, because we need to see how the price is reacting. My view would be, looking at the indicators suggest, looking at what they suggest, I wouldn't be surprised if we move up a little bit higher here. And certainly I could imagine that we're going to get up to here 45.5 again, to those previous resistance levels. Cardano as well did what we said in the last video, that we could break back into this wedge here, into this descending wedge, because also here the indicators were very, very low. So it did that, broke back into the pattern here. To be fair, here already on the, what was that, 24th of January, it briefly broke out of this descending wedge, did get back in, and also here we now have more room for further upside, all the way up to pretty much $1.02. Yeah, this would be the resistance level of that wedge here, and would be very well in line with the previous high that we had here. If I zoom in, you can see that this previous high at, well, that was at 98 cents, but above that we've got here $1.02, and the $1.02 level, that was all the support here, here, you know, throughout. So this is, I think, where we could be getting to. Also looking at the indicators, especially on the hourly time frame, you have more room for further upside. Yeah, it's not overbought yet. Here on the 4-hour chart as well, we're only at 46. So if we really go and break here higher, there is much more room to get until we get to the 70 level, which would be then overbought. Here also on the MACD, bullish crossover now, so further upside potential. And also here, similar to Bitcoin actually, the daily MACD seems to be turning around, but it's very early days, so we need to look at that. But at the moment, it's looking rather like a little bit more upside here, before we then are going to turn around again and then get lower. It doesn't suggest at all that the downtrend would be over, but we can certainly expect here some lower highs now. I mean, it's typical in the market. You have your breathing in, breathing out. So expect the next swing high to come. Could be a lower high. Too early to say that now. I think it would be for Cardano a lower high, because we've got here the resistance level along the way of that wedge, plus the 50-day moving average. And then we still have that white channel coming down here as well. And all of that would provide resistance along the way. And then at some point, I think we're going to turn around here again and get into the yellow target area down here, which is currently sitting between 30 and 55 cents. Yeah. And one more thing to add here is what is a bit scary, is that monthly MACD. Look at that, how it is coming down, similar to, I think, what Bitcoin is doing as well. We only a couple of months ago had here a bearish crossover. Good thing is though that yeah, we're already here in the middle on the monthly RSI, so we're not up here anymore, because that was still the case in October. We're just overbought on the monthly MACD, and this just had to be reduced. But yeah, This is a little bit scary, that monthly MACD, because there is much more downside potential on the higher time frames, right? Even here on the RSI, you could even drop lower, but that would be very much in line with my yellow target area here, I think. But even here, I think on the weekly, the selling momentum is reducing, which doesn't mean it couldn't drop lower. Just indicates that at some point here, we're getting close to the end of the correction. All right, that's my view here on Bitcoin and Cardano. Definitely keep you updated. Not too much has happened since my last video, other than Cardano broke a little bit above this or back into this descending wedge, and Bitcoin here at a key decision point at the moment. And that is probably why Bitcoin is currently not moving that much, while the altcoins are, because Bitcoin is here currently at a key resistance level. But if it breaks that, then you can expect some upside, and would also expect some upside then for other altcoins. Okay, thanks a lot for watching. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please smash the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment for the algorithm. And if you really like the content, check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.